So here's the deal. We've got this new open, and it's late, right? This is episode 3, and this is the first time we're about to air this new open. But it's not quite ready yet. I have a particular moment that is my favorite.
Can we just wait for it till like we have the space news open kind of thing? We'll just finally get
one of these.
Yeah, we'll get like a new. We'll just start it in the next season.
Pretty much.
We'll have this season's open.
Here's what we're gonna do.
Season.
I'm gonna roll the open, and see if you can pick out my favorite moment. Just the moment where I'm like, oh, really? So here you go. Here's the new Spacevidcast open. That's cute, the sus. He says my favorite moment was my name.
Well, my favorite moment's my name.
That
doesn't count for something?
Yeah,
oh,
that's
okay.
Yeah, BZWing0, you got that one. In the chat room, BZWing said, "Why is Spaceship 2 in space?" And yes, Spaceship 2 is now an intergalactic vehicle capable of not just going to suborbital space, but apparently between planets as well, in a perfectly straight line.
No, I can explain this. There was an accident, and it skipped off of the atmosphere, and now is floating around with dead people in it.
So
probably from the Emporium, as a matter of fact.
My other second favorite moment is there's no atmosphere in any of the planets whatsoever, including the Earth-like planet. So yeah, we're gonna tweak some of that stuff, but you get the idea. It was kind of cool, right? We're getting there, tweaking it, massaging it. We'll make it kind of happen.
Yeah.
And speaking of, we've been busy doing things, other things, not just building opens and whatnot. And I am flying out. Actually, we're both flying out later today.
I know you keep saying I'm flying out. I'm flying out.
You're not doing anything.
Apparently not.
I'm flying down to Houston. You're going to San Diego,
Yes.
and we're covering SpaceUp. And there are 2 SpaceUps going on at the exact same time. If you've never been to SpaceUp, they are an unconference. And if you've never heard of an unconference, well, then you're just screwed. I have no way to help you at this point.
We can't start at the beginning, people.
It is like a bar camp. And if you don't know what a bar camp is, seriously, what's wrong with you? I don't understand why.
I don't know where you've been. Sorry.
It's where you build the conference. So you show up, and there's normally when you go to a conference, there are we'll say like 4 rooms, 4 conference rooms, and there's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and you know who's speaking and what session's going to be in what room, and you choose
usually
which
get
room.
like a pamphlet, like a
pamphlet.
5-page.
Yeah.
Who's where, what time, what they're talking about.
This is what's going up here when at a SpaceUp, you still have those 4 rooms, but there's nothing scheduled for any of them. They're completely blank, and you walk into a completely blank slate, which is what makes SpaceUp so cool.
Or is what the real sus says. Have you ever been to a conference? It's not like that.
Yeah, kinda. In a SpaceUp or in any bar camp or unconference, everyone participates, and you create the topics on the fly. So the first thing you're going to do in the morning is you're going to decide these are the things I want to talk about. And we're going to give you some guider topics and some things that you could consider talking about in tonight's show. So for all of you watching Spacevidcast prior to your SpaceUp, good for you. You're preceded with content. That's fantastic.
Nice.
Exactly. We're here to serve.
Bonus.
Bam! So you'll go in and you'll say, these are the things I want to talk about. You stick them on the whiteboard at like 10 o'clock room 2, 11 o'clock room 4, whatever you want to talk about at what time.
Jenny wants Tribble Wars.
We did that once, and I don't think that's going to happen again. And that's SpaceUp. And because it's a group of space community geeks getting together, it's a lot of fun because you're all interested in the topics. They weren't developed, 6 or 12 months in advance. They're extremely timely topics, and everyone participates in the conversation. It's not just one person droning on and doing a death by PowerPoint to you. It's everyone gathered in kind of like a semicircle, talking about ways to change and get people excited about space.
The other thing is, though, that should somebody manage to hijack an entire section with PowerPoint, you are bored. No.
What?
No, he didn't do that. But should somebody happen to do that and you're bored to death, it is your responsibility to get up and leave and find something better. And if there isn't anything better, then create one.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's SpaceUp, and I highly encourage you, if you haven't got your tickets yet, spaceup.org, that will guide you to the 2 different SpaceUps that are going on at the same time. We're going to be live streaming here on Spacevidcast both SpaceUps. So even if you can't make it, if physically can't make it there in person, attend online. And we're going to work and do whatever. We've got Podmasters.
It's so cool.
Isn't that fun? In every single room in both SpaceUps that will be monitoring the chat room and making sure that your experience online is a really great one. And we're going to try to do the best job at streaming 7 different rooms that we can. And that's a lot. That's a lot of rooms.
In 2 different cities. Not just 7 different rooms.
2 different, exactly. And we'll have the grid up on Spacevidcast starting tomorrow night, and you'll be able to join in any one of those rooms and watch what's going on. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And if you can't make it in person, I encourage you to watch on the website and participate on the website too. Chat in the website, kind of group together and do, be part of the experience. And if you can't make it this time, start one in your city. See what these things are all about, see what it takes to build a SpaceUp, get excited about this stuff and go, you know what? I want one in my city. I want to make one happen right here, right now. So there you go. All the information you need is on spaceup.org. All right, let's get started with, there's a new magazine for Space Geeks coming out.
Yes.
Specifically New Space Geeks.
New Space Geeks?
New Space Geeks. There you go.
Not new Space Geeks.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, good.
It's called New Space Magazine, and you can get more information at newspacemagazine.com. Haven't seen any issues, right? So there are 0 issues of this out yet. They're going to be coming out shortly. They're going to print, I believe, any day now with their first magazine. And the thing is, it's designed to just look beautiful and be a beautiful, almost work of art, in addition to giving you information. Oh yeah, here you go. Here's my computer. So here's the website for the magazine, and you can kind of see all this fun jazz and what's going on. You can see even the website itself. It looks nice. It's kind of cool. You can go in here, grab the current issue. So this is the New Space Magazine, and I'm excited to say, for the first time ever, Spacevidcast is advertising outside of the interwebs. And we have got a full-page ad and what I'm going to call our new marketing campaign. And I'm not going to show you guys this new marketing campaign, and you're going to have to get it in New Space Magazine. And I got to tell you, for everyone who's seen it, they're like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. And I have to, we sent it out to graphic design, good friends of ours, and they came back, and it was awesome. Highly encourage you to pick up a copy of New Space Magazine, if for nothing else, just to see the Spacevidcast ad, which is really, really cool.
And Chris, just so you know, while it does look like we jacked your son Ben and took a picture of him, we did not. Ben is safe at home.
No teases. You're not allowed to.
Just saying.
No letting them know what's going on in the.
Just saying.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about some space news. We're from. The Spacevidcast studios in Watertown, Minnesota, but we actually live closer to Eden Prairie, Minnesota, which not a lot of people know is the world headquarters for ATK. Now, ATK has a large division in Utah that does space, which is what most space geeks are familiar with, but the world headquarters are here, and because of that, on the news is a ton of information, locally at least, about ATK.
Oh, people are going crazy at home.
So what's going on is, as you may know, ATK used to build the solid rocket boosters for the space shuttle, and then was going to build the 5-segment solid rocket booster for the new Ares 1 rocket, and whatever solid fuel was required for Ares 5. Ares is all but defunct at this point. So what does ATK do? Well, you team up with, and I can't remember the company name off the top of my head. Do you remember who they are?
I don't either. I was just reading it.
Do you have
it's right here, isn't it?
Do you have it open?
I've got.
No, it's not USA. It's
ULA?
No. I can't believe it's not any of them. It's from ESA.
Oh, right.
It's not going to be able to find it. Someone else will find it. But they're teaming up with this other company, and they're going to build a new human-rated vehicle that they think they're going to be able to start launching in 2013. And this is going to use the 5-segment solid rocket booster that was designed for Ares 1, and then they're going to use the upper stage that was essentially designed for Ariane 5. And they're going to kind of merge the two together for this new Uber rocket that we're going to be able to use they're calling it Liberty, but we'll be able to use it to ferry humans to the International Space Station. Astrium is the other company.
There you go.
And they're pitching this rocket for NASA's Commercial Crew Development 2 competition. And I'm pretty sure someone over at NASA looks at these things and they're like, all right, what can we come up with that will be incredibly difficult to say if you're doing a live space show?
No, you know what? There's too many TLAs and FLAs and other FLAs.
It's called CC Dev 2, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's, you have to roll the dice eventually, and you come up with a couple of letters, and then you make an acronym that fits those letters.
Here's the interesting part about this whole thing, though. So Ares was getting pushed back and back and back and back and back, and I realized there were a lot more components to it. They're talking about 2013 for this thing.
2013.
Right? Is that the right date?
It's 2011. Anybody?
Yeah.
Anybody.
So the first test flight in 2013 and operational status, operational launches by 2015. So check out the link right down there. You can read the whole story on that.
That scares
No,
me.
I mean, no, what?
That scares me a little bit.
No, don't be scared. It's awesome, right? Competition is good. We're starting to see some actual. This is
wish
what we're
them all
talking
the
about.
best, and I hope it works. Honestly, I do. But I heard 2013 and I laughed out loud. I was in the lunchroom at the time because it came on the local news as I was at work, and people were confused because I just randomly laughed because nobody really watches the news, of course.
kind of poofed your
and
hair.
I did. And it was some sort of space thing, so of course nobody was paying any attention. And I was like, I'm sorry, this is 2013?
But SpaceX does that. I mean, SpaceX has these.
Human rated?
Yeah.
Human rated by 2013.
But they've already, a good chunk of this work is done. We've already done 2 static test firings of this 5-segment solid rocket motor. We're going to take a Ariane 5 upper stage, pop it on top, boom, there you go. So we've got 2. So the problem is, well, I assume it's a 5-segment solid rocket booster. And they might be going back to a 4-segment. I can't see from the picture. Chat room, throw the chat room up on the bottom for me for a second. Does anyone in the chat room, are they talking about using the 4-stage? Whoa. Wow.
Pretty much USKO.
That's
basically
that crashed
it,
the
isn't
whole
it?
thing. Now we have to sing it down. We're not going to edit that part out.
No, why would we?
We'll stay on a black screen for a while.
First test flight, 2013, human rated by 2015. All right, that's better. Thank you. That makes me feel a little bit better. That's, of course, not what the news said, which I know I should not trust exactly
it's
what the news
test flight in
says.
2013 and then flying
Human
in 2015.
rated by 2015.
That's what we said. Oh, well, that's what I said. Did you say human rated by 2013?
That's what I had heard, and that's why I was confused. SVC is not human rated, by the way. Thank you, the real sus, for reiterating that.
So I think that's actually really good news because now we're talking, but we talked about this last week or the week before when I got on my soapbox about
Can't wait.
building.
Which week when you got on your soapbox?
Whatever week.
Okay, check
about building a space industry. I want to make sure we're back online. Can you hit the external video for me? Building a space industry as opposed to simply having a space program.
Right.
This is the beginning of a space industry.
Yeah, it's a huge difference.
SpaceX, part of the space industry.
Right.
Possibly ATK, and Boeing and Lockheed, they are private companies. There's no reason they can't start building competitive product that's not on a cost-plus contract. So, where do I transition from here?
But they're contractors, though. I guess nothing against contractors, don't get me wrong. But, they're used to working with the government, so it would seem to me that they probably have the same kind of government mentality. I just don't see them being a hugely nimble, flexible company. SpaceX is what? How many? Couple thousand people?
1,200.
That's it. ATK? Got to be bigger than that.
I don't think so. I think ATK is around the same size.
They've got to have 1,200 in Eden Prairie alone.
Well, ATK's space division, and that's really what we're talking about. You can
Right.
have, you can have a large department, but we're only talking about the space division. So, no, I don't know. It's all a culture thing, right? And there's no reason that a company. We're talking about Boeing like they're this big, or Lockheed like they're this big evil company, but they're not.
I'm not saying that they're evil. It's a switch in mentality, and you can't just put like a 60-year-old government agency worker in the middle of Silicon Valley and expect him to thrive and be totally fine and okay.
No, but you can change the corporate culture. You can absolutely do that.
In 2 years?
Sure, why not?
You
know what? We'll find out. Time will tell.
Yes, we will.
We'll see what happens. Every time. Here's the thing: when I go out and I meet these space geeks, it doesn't matter what company they're from. NASA, Boeing, Lockheed, SpaceX. They're all really cool people that are passionate about what they do. Doesn't matter if you're 60 years old. Doesn't matter if you're used to government space. As long as you're passionate about what you do and you want your product to see the light of day, you'll find a way to make it happen.
Yeah, and Danny, I didn't mean to infer that all government workers are 60 or all. I didn't mean that. just using the example, you know, teaching old dog new tricks, I suppose is what I meant.
I don't know. I think it could be good, and I'm not, you know, when I go off on some of these, I guess my problem is with ATK isn't ATK, it's when politics gets in the way of space, in that when you write a bill that says you must use solid rocket fuel on your rocket, I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Don't tell the rocket scientists how to build a rocket. Politicians are not rocket scientists. That's not to say solid fuel is bad. It's to say that politicians aren't rocket scientists.
Right.
So if ATK wants to build a solid fuel rocket that works, by all means, they should do, great, do it. But don't force NASA to do it.
Right.
That's my only point. All right.
That's fine.
That's off my soapbox. So there are two places I can go with this.
So anyway.
I can go to the other soapbox video.
Yes.
Because we're on
Which
this
I really think you should. Personally.
Or we can go to the other video that talks about government space and cost plus contracts.
Wait, the super boring video?
Well, yeah, but it talks about cost plus contracts.
All right.
All right.
No, go ahead, do the super boring video.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we take a quick break, and then we're going to discuss during the break.
Debate.
And then when we come back, we're going to talk about either another guy on a soapbox about space, and the chat room, let me know what you want. I keep pointing to the chat room like it's there. Chat room, let me know what you want to see, and then when we come back, we're going to roll one of those two videos. Stay with us.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
C versus B on soapboxes. I think we have a new segment.
Soapbox. Okay.
Delicious lake. Delicious lake.
So, MIT guy says, I'd rather watch the SpaceUp commercial 5 more times. I think that's actually an insult. I'm not entirely sure. But most of the people in the chat room said they would like to see the soapbox video. This is a great video that was placed in the Spacevidcast wiki. For those of you who haven't actually seen the wiki, we do all the pre-show stuff, and you can add your own news stories that you'd like us to talk about in the wiki. I think this particular story was submitted by USKO in this chat room, or UK50 in the, uses different names. But yeah, this was a fantastic video that was found and put into the wiki for the show notes. Check this out. This is just a really great video about Kepler and how awesome space is, and it's okay to be excited and constantly call space awesome because your passion is infectious. Check it out. Do you know what video this is?
Hi, everybody.
Nope, come back to us.
Here, I'm Bill Whittle.
Not that video. I realized you probably don't know what it is. It's the Kepler video. It's labeled Kepler, and yeah, that was the boring video. It's not terribly boring, but it's not as awesome as this video. All right, check this one out. Nope, not this one either. It should be called.
So not
hang on, we're gonna stall for me.
I'm stalling apparently. Yay! Here I am. He is a little bit nutty, yeah, but it's kind of a good nutty. It's not exactly.
Oh yeah,
scary.
I said Kepler. That was my fault.
You
It's
did
not
say
Kepler.
Kepler.
It's James
I
Webb
was
Space
wondering.
Telescope.
JDubST.
James Webb's JDubST's gotcha.
In the
All right.
house.
All right, now we're gonna roll the video. Here we go. Yeah. Here you go.
Good morning, John. So in my last video, I was all to make a video about the James Webb Space Telescope. And then the nerdiest of the nerds in the comments were all, so today, I must talk about the James Webb Space Telescope because it's freaking awesome! But by way of a longer and second introduction to this topic, I have a thing to say. I personally believe that there are two ways to make the world a better place. You can decrease the suck, and you can increase the awesome. Now, these are not mutually exclusive things. That's hard to say, mutually exclusive. But they're also not the same thing. And it's clear that decreasing suck is extremely important, probably in the end more important than increasing awesome. And thus when I talk about the space program, people are always like, NASA's money could be better spent on services for humanity. And to them I say, I do not want to live in a world where we only focus on suck and never think about awesome. If we lived in that world, then people would play soccer by having both teams stand and guard their own goal the whole game, with the ball sitting at midfield, and then at the end of the game we're supposed to all celebrate because no one scored any goals against our team. That's not gonna get you on SportsCenter. We have to guard the goal, and we have to try and prevent bad things from happening, but we also have to make good things happen. And that is why I love the James Webb Space Telescope. It's the Space Telescope version of a freaking awesome space telescope! This thing gives me serious nerdwood. So without further ado, my nerdy comrades, here are the top 5 reasons why the James Webb Space Telescope freaking kicks ass. It is huge. The total mirror size is 7.5 times larger than the Hubble Space Telescope's meter. The heat shield is the size of a tennis court. Number 4, it's a freaking transformer. Because it's so huge, it could never fit in its full form in the top of a rocket ship. And so in order to fit into the rocket, it's super duper folded up, and then when it arrives, it unfolds in like 12,000 different marvelous little ways that could go wrong at any moment, and it freaks me out because I worry about that. And oh, woe for humanity, no one is going to be there to see this thing open up. But luckily, the wonderful computer animators at NASA have given us the images that I have been showing you. Number 3, it will operate 1 million miles from Earth. That's about 4 times as far away from the Earth as the moon is. The Webb telescope actually orbits the sun. That's a simplification. It's actually in the relative stationary Sun-Earth Lagrange point 2. Which I'm not going to try to explain to you right now. If it screws up, there's no way to fix it. You may have noticed that we went to fix the Hubble like 10,000 different times. Well, we're not going to get that opportunity with the James Webb Space Telescope. One off. One chance to do it right. Or it's a $6 billion piece of space junk. That is tense. Number 2, it will be able to see planets orbiting stars in our galaxy. Individual planets. If the James Webb Space Telescope was 25 light years away, it could see the Earth. It can also determine the chemical composition of planets, and it can peer into stellar nurseries to see planets as they form. Watch solar systems forming. And finally, the James Webb Space Telescope can see 13.4 billion years into the past. This is particularly impressive because the universe is 13.7 billion years old. We will be seeing the first galaxies as they form, the first stars as they form. And guess what? None of this is necessary to life on Earth. None of it's going to help us cure malaria or install a democracy in Egypt, but it is awesome in the truest sense of the word awesome. I'm sorry that there's so many hand gestures in this video. I am feeling very gestury. This is the dawn of everything that we know. And that is increasing awesome, and that is something that I can get behind. John, I'll see you on Friday.
Yes. Although, he stole my soapbox, and I want it back. Because that's an expensive soapbox. As the chat room was saying, pretty awesome. Very animated, and that's kind of the emotion we would love to get from humanity, all people. You know, I think the soccer analogy was great.
Yeah.
This is why we should be exploring. Otherwise, we're just sitting on our own, by our own
Goals.
I was like,
With
field
the ball
goal.
in the middle.
Yep, exactly. That's why I have her. I don't know the words. Yeah.
I wasn't really paying attention.
Yep, exactly. Yep. No, I was just like, he took my box. I want my soapbox back.
He does more hand gestures than
He does.
you do.
He does. But yeah, I mean, when the video was up, check out the link that was at the bottom to go watch it on his site and comment. Certainly comment and get the conversation going over there as well. Because this is what we're about. This is what, yeah, awesome stuff. Some people were saying the video froze. Yeah, go back, watch it, and just go watch the link.
It's definitely worth a look.
Speaking of other really cool things, SpaceX may have their first mission to the moon.
What?
Bum, bum, bum. So the Google Lunar X Prize team,
Yes.
fill in the blank, I don't have the story up. It starts with an A.
Yeah, of course, I didn't bring that one up either because you decided that you just want to go in your own direction. Astrobiotic technology.
That's the one, Astrobiotic. I got that one confused with
I'm
the
sorry,
other.
Astrobotic, not Astrobiotic.
Right, because the other one was like Astro. All right, you know what,
My
whatever.
fault.
Link,
Astrobotic technology.
link, click.
Yeah, they of course just announced that they signed a contract with SpaceX to launch their GLXP vehicle to the moon via a Falcon 9.
That's super exciting.
Yeah, and they're talking about going in around the 2013 timeframe, I believe it is. Yep. Mission could launch as early as December 2013, which means 2014, 2015, whatever. But you know, that's how space timelines go. Actually, you know what's really funny is on the space.com. Go to my computer for a second. I love the graphic. I think space.com made this graphic. I love the graphic they created for this
Because
it's like
is really kind of cool.
well, it's cool in a really nerdy like we superimposed the
Super nerdy, super dorky.
the Dragon rocket next to the moon.
Well, that's where it's going. That's where it's going. It's going to the moon. Why? What? I see.
I thought that was funny. All right, so the point of the story is they're trying to go to the moon to help to win the Google Lunar X Prize. There's a bunch of different prizes from them to go up there. Their vehicle is actually kind of cool. We've got a screenshot of the vehicle, I think, like a rendered. Look at
There
that.
you go.
It's actually a really neat video. And if you go to the link, you can kind of dork around and finally get to the, I forgot their name again. Astrobotic.
Yeah.
Astrobotic.net, I think it is. Let me just verify that. Astrobotic.net, yep.
Yeah.
If you get to astrobotic.net, they've got some really great videos. Unfortunately, they're a little bit dry, so we decided not to air them in this particular show. But they're really good. They talk about what their plans are, and they've got a great blog, too, that actually, here, I'll just pop over to the blog. Check this out. Check out all the stuff they've got going on with, you know, here's how they're structuring things, here's how they're building things.
Very interesting.
Here's, you know, some presentations. There we go. I wanted to show you actual hardware.
Yeah, there you go.
So here we've got some actual, like, they've got some great stuff on their blog talking about what they're doing, how far they are in the process, or if you're from Canada, process. Here you go. Check this stuff out. Right? I mean, obviously read the words too. I'm just kind of showing pretty pictures right now. But they're starting to look like they may actually have a real vehicle here, ready sometime soon-ish, you know, possibly ready by that, well, I'll call it 2014. I know they're saying 2013, but ready for that 2014 launch date. And, you know, this could actually be going to the moon. I believe they're going to the Sea of Tranquility, where the Apollo 11 moon landing first happened.
Obviously, yes.
3D cameras on board.
Yep.
And they're going to stream that back to Earth.
And they plan to be there for 2 weeks, isn't it?
You
It's
know,
an extended amount of time. It wasn't. I mean, because for the GLXP prize, there's extra for staying overnight and getting pictures, 3D pictures, or I mean pictures and video, you know, that kind of thing. But I think, if I remember correctly, their idea is to be there for like 2 weeks.
it'll be for a while.
It's a long
they have to
time.
survive lunar night, which is hard to do because
Right.
you know no solar panels and it gets very, very dark. And as some of the people in the chat room are saying, you know, pretty pictures equals this is going to happen, as opposed to renderings, computer renderings. We were
Right.
showing you actual vehicle shots there, which is kind of why I brought that up.
Yeah, that is a big difference.
And then Vax Headroom said the bald guy is one of the
Okay,
top
thank you.
robotics people on the planet.
Nice.
And this is done by, I want to say this is Carnegie Mellon, someone, anyhow, cool stuff. So outside of that, outside of the robot itself going to the moon, SpaceX capable of delivering payload. Their Falcon 9 rocket able to deliver payload to the moon as well.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I just wonder where SpaceX is going next.
That next?
Go ahead. Breaking news. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Are we allowed to say it?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So apparently NASA has just recently approved SpaceX, the next I can't talk. The next SpaceX COTS flight will go to the ISS. NASA has approved it.
So that's combining the next two COTS missions then.
Yes.
That's something Elon Musk had wanted to do, and he had been, vocal is not the right word. I mean, he wasn't like, oh, wait, what? But it was, you know, certainly public about it, saying, you know, we've met all these milestones. We've had great vehicle success.
What up, guys?
Can we just combine these two into one mission, be a little more efficient, and just go straight to the ISS? Sounds like NASA has said yes, you're allowed to do that.
Yeah, we do need a breaking news graphic.
Well, we have the
We don't
trouble on
have
the ISS.
So close.
Yep,
the
so
music
COTS
would be the
2,
same.
COTS 2 and COTS 3 combined, one universal mission, going to the International Space Station, speeding up. This is something you don't see in a space program. I'm going to harp on this program industry thing all year, so get used to it, guys. But this is something you don't see. You don't see people accelerating space timelines. You always see slips and budget overruns.
Right.
JDubST is a perfect example of that. Not that it's bad, but slips and budget
Well,
overruns.
and so was ATK's Liberty, really.
Not
because
Liberty.
not because of ATK's fault. But I mean, it's being grouped together because of
A project cancellation, not a cost overrun, though.
well, wasn't the project canceled because of cost overrun?
Well, you can't. So this is semantics, kind of, because you can't overrun costs of a government program. It was just because they're allocated X number of funds per year, and you can't go over that.
Okay.
But it would have cost so much more to complete the mission than they thought it would, which would have had to spread out over time, which would have. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, yes and no.
Tell me I'm right.
Okay, you're right.
Okay, good. Thank you.
There you go.
All right. Next.
Oh well. Yeah, I don't.
But
hang
no,
on.
so that is really cool. Cheese delivery for the win, says Flying Jenny.
All right, you know what? We're gonna.
Actually, we're delivering to the cheese this time, Jenny.
We're going to end on this story, which is one that I've had in the 4.01, since the 4.01 show. And what happens is, if you watch the wiki, you can see news entries we don't get to that are evergreen, kind of move from show to show.
Yes.
This one is the Delta IV Heavy versus a Dodge Ram 3500. You can ignore the video, Kath, and just go to my computer instead. This is just a funny little graphic, and
I just
check
love
out
the idea
check
that
out the
somebody
URL at the bottom of your
decided
screen.
to,
Yeah. So I'll move this over so you can see a little bit better. So check this out. You've got, by pickuptrucks.com, you've got the Delta IV Heavy. It's 28,605,
Which in general,
650 pounds.
I don't
That's their payload. Now, the 25,400 pounds, that's how big the truck is. So basically, the payload of a Delta IV Heavy can be the truck. And they go through some pretty cool
so
stats.
we can send a truck to the moon, is that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
I love this, right? So the truck is pretty much as high as one of the engines. You can kind of scroll down here. You can see the different size, right?
I
I love the engine comparison.
The funniest part to me is that I don't normally consider gearheads to be huge space freaks, but apparently somebody is, because
So yeah, we've got like
it just seems like an odd comparison in general to me.
the Delta IV Heavy. We've got like 0 emissions, kind of cool, right? Because it's
Very, very
LOX.
cool.
And then the truck has got CO2, CO, soot as an emission. Let's see here, performance. One Delta IV Heavy is the same as 11 Hoover dams or 10 747 airplanes, or 145,714 trucks.
Of the trucks.
Here's what I thought was kind of interesting, actually. 0 to 60, the Ram has about just under 5 seconds on the Delta IV Heavy. Kind of makes sense because the Delta IV Heavy is also heavy. 0 to 100, that's where the Delta IV Heavy edges out the Ram 3500, but not by that much, right? I mean, only by a few seconds. So
And
from
sadly,
0,
the Ram can't do 700 miles per
I know,
hour.
not applicable. I love that.
So sad.
17,500 miles per hour takes 5 minutes. And then I love the fuel. Delta
gallon.
IV Heavy, 483,500 gallons or 35 gallons. And then it's cost to fill up $600,000 or $118.65. Miles per gallon, 0.00087 versus 11.8.
Star.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, no, I thought that I was like, who did this? It just seems like the most random comparison, but very cool though. Still very interesting.
Yep.
Nonetheless.
Absolutely.
Thank you, cars.com.
So that's our show, everyone. I look forward to seeing all of you at SpaceUp San Diego and SpaceUp Houston this coming weekend live on Spacevidcast.com. For those of you in Houston, I look forward to meeting you in person. For those of you in San Diego, Carrie Ann, I'll be meeting you in person. And we'll see you right back here about in 24 hours. So we forgot again. We've got the.
No real surprise.
I know. We've actually have been giving these away. But what happens is we forget to do them in the live show. And so then what everyone basically waits at this point through the whole show, eagerly awaiting the Roku box. And then as soon as we near the end and they can tell I'm wrapping up, they're like, Roku? I want my Roku. Where's the Roku? You can tell we've got a new shipment of Rokus in because we've got
Did
a
you
new.
take a picture of that?
Yeah.
It's a box of boxes.
It is a box of boxes.
It's really
all like
cool
this,
looking.
just stacked up. So we have got our new shipment of Rokus in. And
Yeah, new box.
New box, and we've got to give them away. So, who in the chat room? Here's the thing: you got to watch live. Bring up the IRC chat room, and let's hope it doesn't crash the system. That's what happened last time.
I know.
Any bets? Will it crash? Oh, crash the system. All right, don't bring up the IRC chat room, obviously. All right. Let's see here. How do you want to?
Are we starting coverage early? Quantum wants to know. It is the 10th in the U.S. right now. We're not starting coverage Friday night, are we?
Well, no, I'm basing it on Universal Time.
Okay.
Did I say today, tomorrow, whatever? I don't know. So, wait, coverage early for STS-133?
No.
Oh.
For SpaceUp.
No, we're not covered. No, we're not. So, how are we going to give this away? Do we have any good tweets?
You know what? That's a good question. I have not checked.
Everyone's tweeting right now to see if they can win.
For sure. I think somebody should tweet out, or if somebody commented on the SpaceX story, the breaking news story. And if somebody didn't tweet about that, which it looks like they didn't.
Nope, no one tweeted
Very
about
surprised.
SpaceX.
Very surprised by that.
No, all these people have pretty much already won.
There's a couple of people who tweeted about JDubST.
All right, who have we got?
Looks like BS, Geek Mom, go up, very
Yep.
good. Chris and Heather not.
All right, so has Uncle BS won one yet?
I don't know.
Uncle BS, have you won a Roku
Roku?
yet? Don't you keep the list?
Yes, but not in my head. Nope, he has not.
We have now. Congratulations, Uncle BS, for tweeting the most in the show from someone who hasn't won. You have won this Roku box. Remember, we're going to keep giving these away until the launch of STS-133. And so watch the show live for your chance to win a awesome Roku. On that note, roll the close thingy again. It's just that cool. We'll see you next. No, this
Vocal?
weekend.
You didn't want a vocal?
No.
Okay.